$20 worth of looks like it might shoot out and you have me up out smash up. Yeah, I seen that. They came back on the road. That's what start way back there. Yeah. I literally just got here too. Keep down in the cruiser. Okay. Came out the road. That's all I know, man. Okay. Yeah. Up here, so okay. Yeah, you go. I get that. Yeah. Where are you off now? I'm off there. He just tried to push it through the door. Okay, so these guys released some food to his church. I guess the station got his driver's license information already with my dispatch and phone number. Okay. So he can take off real quick. You can drop this off to you.
Yours sits a little higher than mine.
Yeah. Hey, why don't we have another seat in my car, Bob? Because we got to use the warm. So we're going to have to sit. Let's get warm. Yeah, I get it.
Over here. Yep, take a seat back. What? Take a seat, that's what we do.
Yeah. We're just glad you're okay and nobody got hurt.
Any weapons in the vehicle?
Hey guys, Tyler here with Secure Team. It's good to see you. I know many of you have been wondering where I've been, and suffice it to say, it's been a very traumatic and tough past couple of months, and an even worse past couple of weeks. The original reason I stopped posting videos is because I started going across the country to film a new documentary that I've been wanting to work on for years. Then I started getting threats to shut my channel down, to stop what I was doing, to basically cease and desist my truth-seeking, and to stop digging around, as they called it. I denied those requests, and I kept going. And before I knew it, one night, I was sitting in my house. I remember falling asleep, and the next thing I remember is waking up in my car with a police officer outside of it, who then charged me with DUI. Now, if any of you have known me for any number amount of years, and my family will tell you this, I'm not a drug addict, and I certainly do not drink alcohol. I think I've maybe drank a drink of alcohol maybe once every year, and that's usually at New Year's. So immediately I knew I was being set up for something. But I went to jail, I protested my innocence, I was released that same day, and within a week or two, the police here where I am staying got a phone call, an anonymous phone call, that I was beating my girlfriend at the house we're staying at. The police showed up, and like they usually do in domestic violence situations, whether there's evidence or not, they usually take someone to jail, usually the man. My wife protested and said that I hadn't touched her and that nothing had happened. But the police, nonetheless, put me in handcuffs and took me to jail. I was put under a probation hold with no bail and spent a week in jail being threatened and beaten by guards at the Knox County Jail. I was told to keep my mouth shut if I knew what was good for me.
This while you're watching has been in the sky for about an hour. It hasn't moved. I've got pictures an hour since. There's no cloud in the sky. It's perfectly clear, which I'll go outside in a minute. This is through my window. But that has been there now for well over an hour. I've got pictures which I've took.
Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Now, you may not know this, but I already posted a new video just yesterday, actually just a couple of ago. I also wanted to get up. There's not a whole lot on my part that I think I need to say. We have a gentleman here who recorded 2 separate videos that were taken over 2 hours apart of what the source described as a dark, solid-looking disc-shaped structure that appeared to be locked in position in the sky. In other words, it didn't drift like typical clouds do. This thing stayed there in the exact same spot for over 2 hours. Furthermore, the object doesn't change its shape in over 2 hours, as you saw from the videos earlier, the first one and then the second one, which he took about 2 hours later. Now, this was posted to the YouTube channel Stephen Owl, with the description of that video stating, quote, "This thing appeared over the skies over Barnsley at about 9:20 p.m. and this is in South Yorkshire, so this is in the UK. He goes on to say, quote, "I thought that it looked out of place as there wasn't a single cloud in the sky all day. When I went back into my kitchen about an hour later, it was still there in exactly the same space as it had been an hour ago. The more I looked at it, it seemed to reflect light. So I went upstairs to shoot this video. I stayed there until it was too dark to see at about 11:30. The video was taken 2 hours and 10 minutes after the first video upload. What do you think?" And, I would have to say that it truly does look like something unnatural. These photos, they're typically surrounded by other clouds. There are no other clouds in this footage surrounding this dark, almost razor-thin disc, or possibly it's cigar-shaped. But whatever it is, no surrounding clouds, and the object doesn't move, it doesn't dissipate like normal clouds do when you have wind, when you have heat, when you have air pressure. All of these things cause clouds to move, to warp in shape. Many instances in just a couple of seconds to minutes, but at the most, maybe an hour or two. But even in this instance, the object has not changed. And so, you know, I'm really scratching my head about this one, guys. It certainly looks as if something is sitting amongst this night sky, recorded by this frightened gentleman who, you know, kept his eye on it until it got too dark to see. And so I definitely wanted to post it here for you guys. I will put the links to both original videos down below. You can head over and check them out. But tell me what you think. Again, captured over Yorkshire, England, specifically Barnsley, between around 9 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. And here, I'm just showing you a comparison here. So you're seeing the later shot that was taken 2 hours later, and then we'll go ahead and blend this into the first shot taken an hour or two before. And although the sun has gone down a little bit more in one of them, they basically look identical. And specifically in the darker one here, and there's certain times where if you watch that video where it's the sun's gone down, you can notice right here at the top, dead center, at the top of this object, whatever it is, there almost appears to be a dome of some sort of dome or attachment or extra surface feature that appears to be on top of this disc-shaped object. And you're seeing that here as I zoom in. And I'll put a little circle around it for you. And yeah, we are putting the word out. Anybody in the UK, a lot of fans out there, keep your eyes open. Tell me what this is. Do you think it's just a cloud? A cloud that just sits in the same spot for 2 hours, doesn't dissipate, doesn't move? If that's what you think it is, tell me down below. I mean, it very well could be, but it doesn't look good, you know, for that theory.
Hey, what's up? Good morning, guys. Bob from the channel Pies and Cakes. Early Sunday morning. It's about just shy of 6 o'clock. Actually, it's just shy of 7 o'clock, guys, because they turn the clocks ahead. Now, that's what it looks like out here, guys. I mean, that crazy textured, cloudy sky with the pink illuminated clouds. Let's get the heck out of the car and show you. All right, man, is it pink all around me almost? Damn. All right, guys, this is what's going on. It is super hot pink all out behind here, almost completely around me. The west is behind me. We'll do a full turn. All right, you can see all these crazy colors in the sky, guys. Now, we tell you it over here, man. You can just see it runs around me, guys. It isn't really out to the west behind me where the mountains are. There's very little pink up there. I can see it in the clouds. You can see it right there. You can see a little bit in the back right there. But once I start to bend in the hard west, look at that, man. I mean, look at this. It's morning, guys. It's Sunday morning out here, man. Look at that in the due east. It's just crazy, man. And by the way, just so you know, when I zoom out, it looks bright. When I zoom in, that's what it looks like, all right? Look at that, though. That's what you're looking at out here, guys. God bless you, Sunday morning. I love you. Like I said, wait, what the fuck? Excuse me. There's a crazy, crazy dark cloud right there, man. And there's another one right behind it. See it? That black thing? What the hell is that? What is that, man? And the other one right there, what the hell is that? That looks more like a giant-ass TRB, man. That looks a triangle-shaped cloud. I'm not going to go there, guys. Like I said, wait, what the fuck? Excuse me. There's a crazy, crazy dark cloud right there, man. And there's another one right behind it. See it? That black thing? What the hell is that? What is that, man? And the other one right there, what the hell is that?
Welcome back, Blake Cousins here, third phase of moon. We're all at home, we're dealing with things, but the news doesn't stop. So the phenomenon not just occurs over major oceans, but major bodies of water, such as lakes. And this one kind of blew me away when I first saw this from Lake Erie. Let's just roll the video a little bit, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Preston. What do you think we're looking at?
The Lake Erie footage, my first thought was like, gosh, could this be a mirage? Because you see what looks like an inversion layer overhead, and you're looking at it and like, well, it's darker than what's below, so that's unusual. And the shape, it's curious footage to say the least. And this is another area where I know there's a lot of undersea UFO activity.
Really? So you've heard of activity at Lake Erie itself?
Oh yeah, the whole Great Lakes area has a lot of activity around it, but this particular area, for sure, has reports of UFOs coming in and out of the water, and that makes me wonder, because I think there's a lot of activity going on underneath the oceans that is not getting a lot of attention paid to it. I know that there are cases of multiple objects. It's not just one or two. In some cases, there's quite a number of these objects. There's a lot of indications that there could possibly be undersea bases in a number of areas across our planet. I know in the Ventura case, for sure, there's enough cases. I think I could build a powerful case. And there's a lot of reports in the Great Lakes area as well, for sure.
Well, it's interesting because when I'm looking at the video, some people might just say it's just some stationary cloud just kind of hovering over the lake there. But again, this thing remains consistent throughout. It doesn't evaporate, and it's very bizarre the way it just is kind of hovering there and keeping consistent in shape. Could it be shielding some kind of possible craft within? And it's just an extraterrestrial ship hidden within the cloud itself, if this is a cloud.
It's a technique they do use. I have seen that in a number of cases. It's very hard to say. This is a very large cloud, in quotes. I don't know. It's certainly possible.
Let's focus to not this one right here, because he was explaining like when he found it. Look, watch.
Like I said, wait, what the fuck? Excuse me.
Okay, it said there's this giant elongated, basically a spacecraft, right? This actually reminds me of here's basically the episode really quick. A secure team or third phase, have a look please. Caught me off guard here. So it's actually two different ships. The other one, it's more like, like that. But this one is like elongated. Anyway, remember this? Basically the messenger, Oumuamua, the first ever asteroid from another star. Well, actually, it's not really an asteroid, because again, it's BS, and it's not really an asteroid like they said, because this spacecraft basically didn't come here one time. It came here, I think, like 5 times, and the shape of that thing, it's like this, just like they say right here. Where's that thing at? It doesn't even have anything here. This is basically from the moon. We actually got this to work, and they found a bunch of stuff on there, but we'll get to it on another subject. But I'd like to focus to this guy right here, right? Because let's put this on here, but it's actually this is like from the moon. So as you can see, the shape is basically similar, and this is basically what people are seeing. They're thinking like this is basically what it looks like. I mean, come on now, it would look better than that. But they're showing you basically this. All right, so if they're showing you this, and where Bob is basically similar, basically size. And there's actually a photograph. Let me see here. Hold on. Here's another one. This is basically the messenger ship. And this is basically from the moon. You saw that from earlier, and there's that thing. It's actually from the mission 15 Apollo, and also the Apollo 20. But people said it's basically fake, and the real origins of basically the ship. It looks like this, like that. So it actually has like freaking markings in there. Well, I can't really zoom in because for some reason it's getting messed up. Yeah, so basically that's what the ship looks like, and we actually got this thing out of the moon, and we're actually been flying it, and we actually made a copy. Did some reverse engineering with a bunch of elements that we discovered from the moon, Mars, and also Downcraft, and we actually got it working. And basically the ship, it's actually it's more like it looks like this. It looks like this. All right, this is basically the ship. Yeah, it's not that what we saw earlier that some guy kind of like draw it. So basically this ship is like massive, man, and it has like all these freaking little windows. Where's my mouse at? Hold on, yeah, see, it has like all these crazy windows, and yeah, it's pretty amazing when you really capture the the correct like detail of the ship, rather than just come up with some crazy thing. So that messenger, the Wu, yeah, it's actually a ship, and it's not some type of asteroid that came here one time, second time. It's just can't believe NASA and just the government, man. This lie just continues, and I don't know what's that there, but yeah, I don't know what's that. It looks like maybe it's part of some tree lines or something. Yeah, but anyway, that's basically what it looks like. But it looks like it made of rock too. But so I don't know. But that's classified information on here. This photograph, it's classified, but now it's unclassified material. So yeah, so anyway, that's basically what we have for today. So we covered a lot, and just remember, this is basically the ones from the moon, so it's very similar to what I just showed you, and basically what they have and here, pies and cakes, and also like the one that they they made up. This artist is actually pretty cool, but they don't give you the right information that you're looking for. But with this guy, the first one ever. But this one, you guys should watch this episode, because a lot of aliens, or a lot of people, human being, died, and I confirmed it. December 17, 2018, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. About 2 days ago, something big happened, but I guess most of us don't know. But I actually just read the report there's this big, giant, triangular shaped object. I'm not talking about just miles long, you know. I'm talking about like maybe 100-mile long spacecraft, and it was traveling towards the sun.
And there's another one right behind it. See it? That black thing? What the hell is that? What is that, man? And the other one right there, what the hell is that? That looks more like a giant-ass TRB, man. That was a triangle-shaped cloud.
Hello, folks. Check this out. There's the southeast. I'm sorry, southwest. I keep getting that wrong. Look at that. Look how that looks like some... Look at that line going... See that? It's like the clouds are cut. What is that? Whoa! Look at this. It goes into a V right there. See that? Wow, what is that? And then look. You can even see the back of it. See that? Look right there in the center. Okay, right in the center of the screen, to the left of the screen. All the way over to the left. That's the point of it. See it? It goes into a V. Look at that. That's a big ship or something. Big cloaked ship. See there? I was wondering why that cloud right there looks like, look how it looks like it's cut. Look at that. You can see the line going up? And it goes to the left, it goes up a little bit. And then it starts into a V. See there? What is that? Wow. That's some kind of ship, people. It's something. I've never seen nothing like that before. Not that. That is unreal. Oh my gosh.
Hey, what's up, guys? And then there's another one here out of the state of Washington, sent in by Kate, right there. Perfect triangle-looking craft up in the sky, or that's what it resembles, some sort of a craft shaped like a triangle. Good observation by Kate out of Washington. I want to thank everybody for sending in your pictures and videos.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Well, for the very first time, at least that I've seen, and according to the space agencies, this right here is the very first interstellar, quote, visitor, or asteroid, as they're calling it, that is shaped like a cigar. So an automated telescope spotted this object that appeared as if it had been dropped on the solar system from above, an angle that suggests that it arrived from elsewhere. And now a team of astronomers have rushed out a paper that describes the object's odd properties and gives it the name Oumuamua, which in Hawaiian roughly means first messenger. Now, before we go any further, if you guys haven't made the connection as to what this object looks like, well, just save it, okay? We'll talk about that more here in a second. But this bizarre cigar-shaped object, first one we've ever seen, I mean, I've never seen an asteroid that looks like this, was first spotted on October 19th by the Pan-STARRS-1 automated telescope system. So they captured the thing, and the automated analysis software hadn't yet identified it. And so further images over the next few days allowed researchers to refine its travel through the solar system, confirming that it was making the most extreme approach toward the inner solar system of any object we've ever seen. In essence, it appeared to have been dropped onto the solar system from above, plunging between the sun and the orbit of Mercury, and it was also moving extremely fast. And we have literally never seen anything like this object before. But then again, if you watch this channel, we have seen a lot of objects that look just like this throughout the solar system. But again, we'll get to that in just a second. So in this paper they released, they said, well, it doesn't have the shape of a typical comet. It doesn't have a tail coming off of it. And it has a very rich chemical composition on its surface, which leads them to believe that it's more asteroid-like. And of course, at least that's what they're telling the public. And they can't explain where it came from, basically. They're trying to study, well, did it come from just outside the solar system? Was it ejected by some large planet out there in space? But every time they do calculations, they turn up with nothing. And they truly don't understand where this thing came from or how it got here. Now, its close approach to the sun has curved this object into a somewhat parabolic orbit. After dropping below the plane of the solar system, the object has shot back up above the plane somewhere between the orbits of Earth and Mars. It's now rapidly moving away from all of our telescopes and is going to fade out of view very quickly. So this thing is exiting the solar system as fast as it came. And so before we go any further, just to recap again, we have never seen an asteroid that looks like this. We have never had an object like this enter our solar system. They have no idea where it came from or how it got here. It's also moving at a very strange high speed. And furthermore, what you're seeing here is just an artist's impression. So it's not like they're releasing the actual images of this object, which again makes me suspicious because, of course, they can drum up anything with an artist's impression. And, you know, with everything we've seen out there in space, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they have spotted a long, cylindrical object flying quickly into our solar system that, you know, they can just tell the public is an asteroid and put out pretty pictures like this. Let's just say that at least the shape of what we're seeing here is correct. Now, if you guys haven't guessed or, you know, figured out where this is familiar, let me refresh your memory. One of the most talked about and controversial photographs, probably in all ufology, particularly that with regards to our moon, and that all surrounds a photograph that was taken during the Apollo 15 moon mission. Alright, so they were orbiting the moon, they were snapping images of the back side, which is the side that is facing away from us and that we never see, and also happens to be the site, according to countless sources, of all of these alien bases and vehicles and strange activity. And so the UFO community was shocked when it was discovered that sitting inside a crater in this particular photograph, which you can find on the Apollo Image Atlas, and I'll put the link down below, was something very familiar to what we're seeing here, and what could only be described as a giant, cigar-shaped mothership-looking object that appeared to be parked inside of a crater, partially hanging outside of it, and that definitely did not look like it was a part of the moon, and that it had actually been put there, or had been sitting there for who knows how many years. Many people believe that this is an ancient ship that had crashed on the moon or that was abandoned. So the better part of the UFO research community believed that this was a legit alien spacecraft found on the moon, and that furthermore, there was actually a later Apollo mission wherein which astronauts were specifically sent to the moon to investigate this crashed or parked ship, and that is what has become known as the Apollo 20 mission. Now, if you don't know anything about the moon landings, there were multiple missions to the moon, with the last one ending with Apollo 17. Now, what many people don't know is that there were actually 3 more missions that were scheduled to go to the moon: Apollo 18, Apollo 19, and Apollo 20. But after Apollo 17, the government came out and said, well, we've already been to the moon, we have budgetary issues, and so we are scrapping these leftover missions, and we are not going to go back to the moon. However, many people believe that this was simply a cover-up, and that we indeed did continue going to the moon, albeit under secret missions that the public did not know about, one of those being the Apollo 20 mission, which, according to theory, was a secretive joint space mission to the moon that was the result of an American and Soviet collaboration that took place in August of 1976, where they flew over the moon, over this specific site of the alleged craft, and took video and photographic footage of it. Now, some years later, and you've probably seen this footage floating around the web, a series of videos were suddenly released that alleged to show actual footage from this secret Apollo 20 mission. And it was released by a man who goes by the name of William Rutledge, who, along with the footage, stated that, quote, Apollo 20 went to the moon on August 16, 1976. The destination was Isaac D, southwest of the Delport crater on the far side of the moon. The mission was Soviet and American. The crew was comprised of William Rutledge, former of Bell Laboratories, Leona Snyder, CSP of Bell Laboratories, and Alexei Leonov, the Soviet cosmonaut from the former Apollo-Soyuz mission the year earlier. Now, there has been a lot of controversy about this footage, with many people believing that it's real, and many who believe that it was simply fake. It is said that they actually went into this craft and actually found a female alien body of a humanoid nature. And while you could probably make up your mind either way as to whether this is real or not, we do know that the Apollo 20 mission was set to happen, and it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that it actually did indeed happen and was covered up, especially when you consider that the existence of a federal agency like the NRO, which is the National Reconnaissance Office, and its missions of overhead reconnaissance were not declassified until September of 1992. And likewise, down here on Earth, people, particularly that of a man by the name of Bob Lazar, was talking about the existence of places like Area 51 long before the government actually admitted that it existed. And so I don't think anything is out of the realm of possibility here. And so many of you have probably seen this photo one time or another. And of course, many years later, NASA came out with more high-resolution versions, which basically looked completely different. But then again, as we know, would you really expect NASA to release more high-resolution images without completely editing them and recreating the landscape? And on the other hand, that is what is so great about these Apollo images taken during the 1970s, because they had to use film footage. There was no computers, there was no data being sent back. These photographs were snapped on film, which then had to be brought back to Earth, developed, and were then scanned and put online. And as you're looking at this, I mean, this has always looked like a ship to me. It appears to even have a structure sitting on top of it, something like you would think of a cockpit. And, yeah, I mean, it looks exactly like what we're seeing in this artist's rendition. Furthermore, we have spotted these things proliferating out at Saturn, floating amongst its ring system. Now, again, if you followed the channel, you know we've spotted these things above Mars as well. We've seen them countless times over Earth. And even, some of the earliest UFO pictures online, including the very first UFO photo ever taken, is of not a flying saucer, but of, you guessed it, a cigar-shaped object. Oh, and by the way, the European Space Agency has also said that the object is red in color, and that it is made of, quote, dense rock or metal, and that measures around 400 meters long and around 40 meters wide, which, almost seems like the perfect size if you were to build such a spacecraft. So, very mysterious. You guys tell me what you think down below. It's obvious that we're not going to get any real information from NASA or from the ESO, but I think you have to use your common sense as well. So look at all the evidence, make up your own mind, and I will see you all back in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.
Weird, because I think the lightning, or the thunder, but the lightning is all coming from the same spot. I mean, is it supposed to be like everywhere? Whoa, jeez. Whoa. What the hell's going on? Yeah, it looks like it's all coming from the same spot. It can't be. Oh, jeez. This is like War of the Worlds, you know? Damn. Yeah, I mean, it's not over there. It's like in the same spot, you know? Jeez. I don't want to get a lightning strike right here in the window. Damn. Damn. Whoa, fuck. Damn. Holy shit. I think it's moving up a little bit. Whoa. But it's all coming from the same spot. Fuck. Damn. Oblivion 9.